I thank the gentleman from California and the gentleman from Minnesota. There's a lot of good in public education today. When we look across our country, just as we see examples of what doesn't work, dropout factories, schools where kids are falling further and further behind each year, schools that are unsafe learning environments for their kids. Just as we have that, we also have examples of what works with our most at-risk populations in this country, showing that every student in this country can learn and can achieve given the right opportunity in the right school environment. Now, charter schools aren't the silver bullet or the solution, but they are a tool in the arsenal of school districts and states to address the learning needs of all students. Nationally, there's over 5,000 charter schools, representing just over 5% of all public schools in the country. Many of those charter schools couldn't have gotten off the ground without the federal startup grants that this bill reauthorizes. Importantly, again, because we have examples of what this works, this bill for the first time allows states to use the money to expand and replicate learning models that work. I point to one in Colorado, the Ricardo Flores Magone Academy, 93% free and reduced lunch, 86% English language learners, and yet they scored far above the state average on the past 3 years, 95 to 100% proficient in math, and about 20% higher than the state average score, a state average score that includes wealthy suburban districts as well. Yes, these students can learn, and schools like Ricardo Flores Magone Academy will now, under this new authorization, have access to expansion and replication money. So when models work, whether that's a model like KIPP nationally that has successfully served some of our most at-risk communities, or whether it's grassroots efforts across our country, they will be able to access resources to serve more students and grow, or to open up additional branches of the same school. National, state, and local research consistently show that, yes, not all charter schools work. Some underperform other public schools. Some perform at the same level, and some do better. And what we do with this bill is we provide for best practices nationally. We've learned a lot in the last 10 years with regards to charter schools. We now have some best practices in this bill, like removing caps on the number of charter schools and districts, through the manager's amendment, ensuring that charter schools can participate in food services as well as transportation services as districts. And I want to point out the importance of transportation, because to make choice meaningful, to add the emphasis to choice, you have to have transportation options to get the most at-risk kids to school. Otherwise, choice is simply an empty promise. By focusing federal investments, as H.R. 2218 does, it ensures that we maximize the impact of our limited federal resources on improving student achievement and reducing the learning gap across the country. To succeed as a nation, we need to do a better job with our human capital, preparing the next generation of Americans for the next generation of jobs, and this bill will be an important tool in that arsenal. I strongly support this bill and yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back his time.